Fury versus Wilder 3. Deontay Wilder weighs in at 238 pounds. 238 for the challenger, the Bronze Bomber. $277 pounds. 277 for the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. There they are, ladies and gentlemen. It's the World Championship Heavyweight Trilogy. Fury versus Wilder 3 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He came in at a career high of 238 pounds. Tyson Fury, he's also, if not his heaviest, one of his heaviest. Tyson Fury weighed in on the scale at 277. This is what Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder on his verified page had to say immediately following that weigh-in. He posted a couple pictures and he says, quote, "You keep talking with that nervous energy, Tyson Fury. I'll let my actions speak for themselves. Tomorrow night, hashtag 2-time, hashtag Bomb Squad, hashtag Fury Wilder." Wilder looked like he was in incredible shape. You guys can see career high heavy, but at the end of the day, he looked like he was in remarkable shape. And he clearly he's 6'7". See, a lot of people said he looked like a basketball player and all this stuff before. And now he looks just more filled out. He's 30 plus. So it becomes easier as your metabolism slows down for you to hold on to additional weight. And I'm not worried about it. He had like a nutritionist and he brought some people on his team, strength and conditioning. He was lifting weight, so he's naturally gonna get bigger. But the good thing is he's 6'7", so he has the frame to fill out. He looked like he was in remarkable shape. I actually like this weight more than the last fight because the last fight was his previous career high, but he had a quick turnaround, and I never liked that. And I always said that on my videos. I didn't like how he had such a quick turnaround from a dangerous fight with Luis King Kong Ortiz in November, like late November, right? I went to that fight. It was right before Thanksgiving. And he went into that fight, and that was a tough fight. People have to keep it real. That was a tough fight. Luis Ortiz is a true difficult fight for anybody at heavyweight until otherwise proven, right? So 6 rounds in, Ortiz was looking good and he got blessed out of nowhere, but that was a difficult and dangerous fight. And Luis Ortiz was winning that particular fight. Wilder blasted him out of nowhere. But I didn't really like the Thanksgiving type of timeline, November, late November, and then fighting Fury in February. And then he came in at a career high. This time is different because he lost, reinvigorated, remotivated, and now he's coming back with the man on fire type of attitude and dealing with the pandemic, and then Tyson Fury trying to run and go another direction with Anthony Joshua, Carlos Takam, Ajit Caballero. Tyson Fury was forced into fighting Wilder for a third time. So all these types of delays, and Tyson Fury also said he had Rona. So all delays caused by Tyson Fury, and at the end of the day, those delays gave Wilder an adequate and an appropriate amount of time to work with these two people that you see on screen alongside his team, Tay and Malik Scott and JD's, to arrive at that comfortable weight. Now, I did the live Boxingego watch party. Shout out to everybody that was a part of that and joined me. Join me tomorrow for the Boxingego watch party, the official watch party for the actual fight. Loaded card. Also, use my link in the description if you are going to order this fight, Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. Should be a great fight. The undercard is absolutely stacked. So I'm looking forward to it. You can use my link in the description to purchase this fight. It's a fight that I don't think people want to miss it's going to be an amazing fight, and it's going to be a fight that it's hard to see this fight going the distance. And that's based on the energy of both fighters, Wilder's tremendous knockout power, and these sorts of things. So use my link in the description to get this fight. As far as Wilder, I thought post-fight and the weigh-in, he looked cool, calm, collected. You see in this video a couple of days ago during fight week, he's all smiles. He looks buff, he looks swole, and he looks like he's put on the size nicely. Like, it doesn't look like this ain't something he's just been doing. I can tell you that. He been at it for a minute, because he's bulked up so much in a good way, and he looks strong, and it doesn't look like, I don't know. He just looks like he's in good shape. So I'm looking forward to this. Tyson Fury, I thought Tyson Fury's energy was off. Tyson Fury, yes, I know him for the motor mouth and the trash talk and the banter, trying to get under people's skin and stuff, but it looked like he was failing in that department, and he was trying to get under the skin of Wilder and Malik Scott, because he went in at Malik Scott. He said they both ish houses and they suck, and he's gonna crack his skull open and dent his head. And he said Deontay Wilder's wife, fiance, Telly, won't be able to recognize him. His family won't be able to recognize. It was pretty vulgar, considering the fact that Tyson Fury, throughout his fight career, he hasn't really showed you this. Like, he hasn't really showed you that he's the type of knockout, devastating puncher. Like, Wilder looked like something was wrong with him. Even trainer Robert Garcia, former two-time champion, had said previously in the interview that it looked like Wilder was off. So you have to keep that in mind. Now, there's different ideas on why Wilder looked like something was off, and I'll let you check out some of my past videos. But needless to say, I think it's safe to say, like Wilder said, men lie, women lie, but your eyes don't. Your eyes are showing you. And we've seen Wilder fight. We've seen what gives him trouble. We've seen when he has that bounce and, pep in his step. He looked flat and he looked off, and for whatever reason, he looked like something was wrong. He says somebody contaminated his water, blah, blah, blah. Whether you believe that or not, that's something was wrong with him, right? And most people witnessed this. So I think this is going to be a much different fight than a lot of people are thinking, because people are just looking at that and saying, oh, Tyson Fury wiped the floor with him and obliterated him. So now we're at a space of boxing. People, I tell you, people do not use their brains. Use your brain. Use your brain. So now we're in a space of boxing where people can't get better. You can't improve because someone told you. I mean, if you look at the most famous people to create, innovate, or invent, most of them were denied at some point. From Jeff Bezos to Jimi Hendrix to Bruce Lee, these people were all turned down at some point. Somebody told Bruce Lee, this is an Asian art form. Don't teach Americans Kung Fu and Jeet Kune Do and martial arts. They're the enemy. Bruce Lee had a different concept and idea, and he thought the culture was so beautiful. He was like, be like water. You see, if you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup, right? He had a different idea. So he received the flack and the feedback from even the Asian community because they felt he was working with the ops and stuff like that. So that's normal for anybody to receive resistance when you're doing certain things. So there's no different. Wilder, he's dark skinned, he's black, so he's born having to realize this fact, because when you're black, it's gonna feel at times like the world is against you. So Wilder knows what he's up against, but it's just shocking to see so many people act like because you were down or you got knocked down that it's inconceivable that you can actually do anything to get better. So it just shows you how low people regard Wilder, and this is a mistake. Wilder, people acted like he was a dumb guy, some Bama from Alabama, right? And they act like he's some dumb guy, and he's proven time and time again to be smarter than people have given him credit for. People told me and Wilder that he should have signed to DAZN $100 million deal. DAZN is barely even clinging on. They had like very little American fights, and people told Wilder he's crazy. you got to sign. John Skipper, who Wilder had the meeting with, and John Skipper, who admitted that they messed up and they knew they weren't going to sign Wilder after seeing how the meeting went. He later left the company of DAZN. So what does that tell you? Y'all told this black man, Deontay Wilder, to sign to this company because certain people told you that it was the thing to do. Eddie Hearn, Markowski, John Skipper, or whatever. And then John Skipper leave DAZN, and Wilder would have been stuck there. Needless to say, when Deontay Wilder, when he actually had the meeting, Joshua was to lose to Andy Ruiz literally like weeks later. So he would have signed a 3-fight deal for DAZN, thinking he's going to get Joshua, and then Joshua loses and triggers a rematch clause and has to fight Andy Ruiz again. It doesn't make sense. So Wilder is used to defying odds. He's not supposed to be here. He started boxing late. People his whole career probably said he only had power. There's a clip I've seen of Wilder where it was in the amateurs. It looked like some guy was knocking him down or knocking him out. And people brought up these clips and people said David Haye whooped him in sparring. There's people who said that Philip Ergovich whooped him in sparring. So Wilder is no stranger to defying the odds. And it's just remarkable to see that people still count Wilder out. And just based on the fact that it's the heavyweight division, like people are completely idiotic, especially with this fight, because we know there are things not involved, like beyond boxing, and it's causing people to act a certain way. Like in no other scenario, unless this was a black fighter, in my opinion, would you have an immense puncher like Wilder, and then people would just completely write him off in the division, out of all divisions, where one punch literally can change the course of event. Like Hasim Rahman literally knocked out Lennox Lewis. That wasn't supposed to happen, but one punch did that and slapped Lennox Lewis, and he had to come back right. So just to see boxing and to see, look at Corey Saunders, rest in peace, and Klitschko, right? We've seen these things. We've seen Michael Moore dominating George Foreman, and then all of a sudden Foreman, who was old at that time or older, come back and knock him out. But for this black man that you see on the screen, oh my God, Deontay Wilder, they said he can't do nothing. And he has perhaps most power that we've ever seen in this division. So I don't really get it. Wilder looks great. Fury seemed like he had nervous energy. And that's what Wilder is saying. He said, I see you with that nervous energy. Use my link, order the fight. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I guess we'll see tomorrow. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, Ego signing out.